Hello, my name is Rafael Tanoko, and I chose the RPG project for Project 2. One of the basic functions one of the basic requirements that my project is supposed to cover is having a character base class that has stats such as health, mana, stamina, XP level, and it should have functions that can read from a file or save to a file. So if we see down here, we do have virtual or pure virtual functions for both of those. The reason for this is that these are going to be overridden by all four of the base classes. Now this character, all four of the derived classes. This character class directly derives to physical, and character class also directly derives to magical. Physical directly derives to warrior and to knight, while magical directly derives to death priest and apprentice. Now all four of these classes are structured pretty much exactly the same as you can see here. Wait, this one. The way they differ is that they have different data members. As you can see, apprentice has knowledge, death priest has faith, knight has critical chance, warrior has endurance. So for this reason, I only look at the first two as they're pretty much exactly the same in their structure. It's just that they differ in the data member and of course their attacks. So for each different one of these classes, I have a few attacks, as you can see here. Attacks, and more attacks. Now, going back to the save and loading from a file. So let's say you have a warrior. Let's say it's user warrior. Then you would do user warrior dot save data if you want to keep all of the stats from that user warrior and you want to use them later. So you want to save to a file. So here you can see that it attempts to open a file, otherwise it would output an error message, and then it would directly save to that file. And an example of what that looks like is over here. As you can see, the health, the mana, the stamina level, etc. That's how it would print out. And then in this manner, it's easy to extract the information. Similarly, if you want to load data, then it would take a file name and then it would do this. Of course, it would try to open it, and if it cannot open it, error message as well. And then this is how it would load from a file. There's other functions too, like isDead, where if the character would die, then it deletes the file. Otherwise, and then it prints out a message, depending on how many battles the character has won. If the character won few battles, then they get insulted. If the character won a pretty decent amount of battles, then they get like a kind of like a participant. I don't know, they get a better message. How about that? Going to the main portion of the code, we can see up here there are a lot of print functions. A lot. There's a print welcome screen or print arena battle information. This is the menu right here. This is information for each character. This helps me to extract what character a user wants depending on the one letter. More instructions. These instructions are when the character wants to load from a file. So they would have to input either warrior or knight or death priest or apprentice, and then the file name. This is the difficulty screen that can help players choose what difficulty they want. This is the print save file options, which allows the character to choose what save file they want. Up here, we can see the save files are empty and ready to be used. Going back, we have error message that says a user can only enter these characters. This prints the number of battles left for a given fighter. This is the opponent select screen where a user can choose who they want to fight next. They can choose the same character 5 times, or they can choose different characters each time. It all depends on how they want to play it. If the character type is the same as an enemy character type, then they print out a special message. These, so from here all the way down to here, these are special character interaction dialogues that would print out when, let's say, if I'm a warrior and I'm fighting an enemy knight, then it would print this out. If I'm a warrior and it's a death priest, then this, etc. Going down, we have the out of combat menu, which is used by the user to help decide what they want to do when they're out of combat. This is the combat menu that alternatively or similarly allows them to see what choices they have when they're in combat. And they're pretty much the same, the only difference being that the character or the user cannot save and load games in this secondary menu. This is the menu for knight attacks, as you can see here. There are level 1 attacks, so if a character is not level 1, if a character is level 1, they can use these attacks. And level 2 attacks, which are restricted to level 2 and above characters. The warrior attack menu, which showcases all the warriors attacks. A print banner, if I want to print a simple banner out for myself. And the victory screen. There's also some more functions that give me the type of character depending on a letter. The potion structure that contains the number of potions for each, mana, health, experience. The difficulty select function, which adjusts the number of potions depending on the difficulty. This just helps me to see if a string is made of letters or not, and helps me print out error messages accordingly. And we see we have the variables I used. There are a lot of Boolean functions, as I felt I needed them to help kind of elevate or kind of like travel between menus, where let's say a character wants to do something and then I print out a message, do you want to do this, yes or no? Then it would have like, oh, yes or no. And if it's false, then I would work accordingly. So stuff like that. This is how the welcome screen will work, where the character would pick an option to either choose load from a file or create a new one. And lower down here we have the character combat screen, as you can see here, or the out of combat screen, where you see they can either save a file, they can load from a file, they can print their stats, they can heal or use potions of any kind, mana, they can get more XP. It also checks if the character has like at least one potion, otherwise it would print out does not have any more potions. Of course, if they pick 7, then that means that they want to fight, and then that's when they enter the combat menu. So in the combat menu, they can choose again 1 to attack, 2 to defend, and if they would choose 1, then they go into a smaller menu where they can choose one of their attacks. After each attack, the character stats for health for both the user and the enemy are checked, and if any of them drop below 0 or equal to 0, then the fight is over and the menus go out, so they break and then they break, so it keeps exiting. But after this, it's mostly the same. So again, they can either choose to defend or to print their stats, as said before in the character in combat screen. So this is the last option. Otherwise, it prints out an error message. And then here's like the dialogue. Here's how the dialogue would work, where if it didn't print it out, then it would print it out once. And after this, it's basically copy and paste it for the most part, as I did. Here we are in the application for my code. It shows you the welcome screen. So let's say I am a new player and I want to know what this place is. So I press 2 and it prints out a message. So then, okay, I want to create a new file. Let's type something random. Invalid input, error, please input a number. So there are catches for errors. So let me just. So if I want to learn more about a character, I would type A and I, as demonstrated by the information up here. So that would print out a message for the warrior. If I want to learn more about the knight, or about the death priest, or if I want to learn more about the apprentice. And as you can see, it keeps giving you information. But if I choose like this, then invalid input. Okay, let me just choose warrior. And again, invalid input. Name of character, let's just do warrior. Warrior. War 1, whatever, War 1. War 1, the warrior locked in. So now I choose the file. And then I have to input a difficulty. Okay, so I took beginner. So it showcases all my stats, data saved, battle draws close, prepare yourself and remember you still need 5 more victories to win. Okay, I want to fight a death priest, so I do that, and an enemy death priest approaches you. Now I'm met with a choice. Well, let me just print my stats out again, and let's save real quick, and let's fight. Let's fight this guy. Okay. War 1 approaches the incoming death priest, entering the arena. At this point, it enters the combat menu, and after I choose an option, it prints out the interaction for the current 2 character instances. So in this case, this is what it would print out, because there is history for the priest and how he lost his family, and that's why he's evil, and there's a little lore there. But here are the attack. Here's the attack menu. So let's say I want to use Earth Shatter, which costs 3 mana. So I do 5, and then it prints out a message, and it showcases the amount of damage as well as the amount of health for the enemy. Now this attack does stun the enemy, so if I want to, I can see my stats and showcase that yes, my mana did decrease. Let's say I want to load from an existing file. Let me very quickly make a file test in file 1, beginner, sure, whatever, warrior, yeah. Now I save the game, and now I'm going to quit the game because the game is saved. If I go over here, you can see up here nothing in save file 2 or 3, but in 1, here's test, and now you can see that, okay, there's information in the save file. Okay, so now I go back to main, and now I want to load from that file. So I load, press 1, and then it was a warrior, and the file is save file 1.txt. Enter my name. Let's just do war 1 again. Difficulty, sure. And as you can see, the file is still there and it's loaded. So let's save the game and let's see your stats. Okay, so my health is looking kind of low. Let's use an XP potion, which should bring me up to 30 XP, and which should therefore heal me to full. So if I see right here, yes, health is up, mana's up, stamina's up, level's up, yeah, everything's all good. Plus 7 attack, and here's the special message for a warrior and an apprentice. So now I Earth Shatter. Let's do it again. Let's do Seismic Urban Shield Throw. And I won again. And I have 13 health remaining. Let's do an apprentice again. No, let's do a Death Priest for the final match. Here, let me see my stats. Okay, not too bad. I could do with more mana, but that's fine. I have more XP potions. So let's fight this guy. Let's do 4. Okay, I have 5 health left. They have 1 health left. Let's be safe and use an XP potion. That should reset all my sets to max, as you can see. And let's finish him off with a Seismic Slam. And as you can see, the game ends.